Good morning, students. Today we are going to see Standard 7th Geography, Chapter number 8, How Season Occurs, Part 2. How Season Occurs, Part 1, we have seen in first semester, Chapter number 1. In that chapter, we had discussed that the Earth's rotation about its own axis is responsible for the occurrence of day and night on Earth. Also, we had seen that the Earth rotates from west to east and takes 24 hours to complete one rotation around itself. The period of time that the Earth takes to complete one rotation is called as a day. We experience different stages like sunrise, midday, sunset, as well as daytime and nighttime during a day. The duration of daytime and nighttime is different on different days. The position of the sunrise and the sunset also changes every day. All these concepts we had seen in How Season Occurs, Part 1, Chapter number 1 of Geography. Now, we will move towards the next part, that is Part 2, How Season Occurs, Part 2. Can you tell? Discuss the activity you have been carrying out since June. See Chapter 1. Make use of the observation tables for the months of June, September and December. As through observation also we can find out the answers of these questions. So let's start with it. Here, in which month the duration of the day was around 12 hours? So your answer will be the duration of day was around 12 hours in the month of September. What could be the reason behind it? Can you tell the answer? Yes, the 12-hour duration of the days in the month of September could be because the north and the south poles are at equal distance from the sun. Bring out the differences between the duration of day time in the month of June, September and December. The duration of daytime decreases from the month of June from around 13 hours to September around 12 hours to December around 10 hours. What could be the reason for the change in shadow of the stick? The change in the shadow of the stick occurs because of the change in the position of the sunrise and sunset. What did you observe about the position of the sun at the horizon at the time of sunrise and sunset? The position of the sun at the horizon during sunrise and sunset starts shifting towards the south and from around 21st June onwards. After 22nd December, the position of the sun at the horizon during sunrise and sunset starts shifting towards the north. Which of the following factors could be related with the change with the change in the position of the shadow of the stick and the difference in the duration of daytime? Rotation of the earth, distance between the earth and the sun, revolution of the earth, the axis of the earth. So here, from among the factors mentioned above, the factors which could be related with the change in the position of the shadow of the stick and the difference in the duration of daytime are revolution of earth, the axis of the earth. Now, you must have noticed the longest day, the shortest day and the days with the same duration of the day and night time with the help of the observation of the months of June, September and December. Generally, these dates are the same every year. With the help of the shadow experiment, you must have noted the change in the position of sunrise. Let us study the changes in the position of sunrise and the difference in duration of day and night time. Geographical explanation. Apparent movement of the sun. You must have realized through your observation that the position of the sun at sunrise appears to change on the horizon every day. Its position appears to move towards the north or south in the course of a year. However, in reality, the sun does not move anywhere. That is why this movement of the sun towards the north or south in a year is called the apparent movement of the sun. The position of the rising sun keeps on moving towards the south in the period from 21st June to 22nd December. This period is called Dakshinyan, when the sun keeps moving towards the south. From 21st June to 22nd December, it is known as Dakshinyan. And from 22nd December to 21st June, the sun keeps on moving towards the north. This period is called Uttarayan, as from 22nd December to 21st June, the sun will move towards the north. So it will be known as Uttarayan. The revolution of the earth around the sun and the tilt axis of the earth are the two factors responsible for the apparent movement of the sun. So, as the tilted axis and the factors responsible for the apparent movement of the sun that we had seen, that two factors are responsible for the apparent movement of the sun, that is revolution of the earth and the axis of the earth. So, these are the two factors which will be responsible for the movement of the sun. Seasons occur only with reference to the northern and the southern hemisphere. So as according to the situation of the northern and southern hemisphere, the seasons takes place. Think about it. In which direction will the location of the sunrise and sunset appear to move after 22nd of December? So as from the 22nd of December to 21st of June, the sun appears to move towards the north direction. This period is known as Uttarayan. Just only above we had seen about Uttarayan. This is only the answer of this question. Always remember, this year you will study the apparent motion of the sun in your science textbook as well. In that book, the sun's east-west motion from sunrise to sunset, that is its diurnal apparent motion, is also considered. In geography, we consider the apparent movement of the sun. In both the motions, the sun only appears to move and does not actually move. The diurnal apparent movement of the sun is related to the rotation of the earth, whereas its annual apparent movement is related to the revolution of the earth and the tilt of earth's axis. Observe figure 8.1 carefully and answer. How is the northern hemisphere in which you live position relative to the sun on the dates given in the figure? So, on next page they had given one diagram. According to it, we have to give the answers of this question. So, this is the figure. Cycle of season, equinox, solstice. So, depending on this, we have to give the answer. Sun and the position of the earth. They had given on the spring equinox 21st March, summer solstice 21st June, autumnal equinox 23rd September, and winter solstice 23 degree 30 minutes, that is of 22nd December, North Pole. So let's see what was the first question. How is the northern hemisphere in which you live position relative to the sun on the dates given in the figure? So according to the dates, we can see the position of the northern hemisphere relative to the sun on the dates given in the figure as mentioned. On 21st March, that is spring equinox, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere are both at the equal distance from the sun. You can see on 21st June, that is summer solstice, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun while the southern hemisphere is away from the sun. You can see the position. On 23rd September, that is autumnal equinox, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere is both at the equal distance from the sun. You can see the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere, they are at the equal distance. Next, on 22nd December, that is winter solstice, the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun while the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. This position again you can see 23 degree 30 minutes, it is a little bit changed. The position of the northern hemisphere, it is little bit tilted towards the sun while the southern hemisphere, it is tilted towards the sun. Second question. Which season will you experience in the northern hemisphere around 22nd December? So now let's see where is 22nd December. Are you able to see the 22nd December? So around 22nd of December in the northern hemisphere we will experience winter season. So December month it is of the winter season, and here they had given winter solids. It means that here on 22nd December it will be the season of winter season. What would be the season in the northern hemisphere around 21st June? Let's see. It is summer solstice. So around 21st of June in the northern hemisphere it would be summer season. Next, if it is winter in the northern hemisphere, which season will it be in the opposite hemisphere? Now let's see about it. If it is winter in the northern hemisphere, which season will be in the opposite hemisphere? According to the diagram, if it is winter in the northern hemisphere, it will be summer season in the opposite hemisphere, that is southern hemisphere. Is if in northern hemisphere it is winter, so it will be summer in the opposite hemisphere, that is of southern hemisphere. At any given point of time, where are the seasons in the northern and southern hemispheres different? So here at any given point of time, there are different seasons in the northern and southern hemisphere due to the inclination of the Earth's axis at angle of 23 degree 30 minutes with respect to the vertical. You can see in the winter solstice 23 degree 30 minutes, that is winter solstice. It gives the point of time that there are the different seasons in the northern and southern hemisphere. Let's see what is perihelion and aphelion position of the earth. The path of the revolution of the earth around the sun is elliptical. The sun is at one of the two centers of the ellipse. The sun does not change its position. So here, sun, it remains constant at place, and the earth, it revolves the sun, and also the earth rotates its axis. As the earth moves in an ellipse, its distance from the sun does not remain the same. So as what? It is moving elliptical. The earth, it moves elliptical around the sun. So its position keeps on changing. It is at its minimum distance in the first week of January. That is called the perihelion position. So it is at its minimum distance. Means there is a minimum distance between sun and earth. So it is in the first week of the January. So it is called as perihelion position of the earth. In this position, the southern end of the axis is towards the sun. As against this, in the first week of July, the earth is at the farthest point from the sun. So as according to the revolution of the earth, the position of the earth and due to elliptical movement of the earth, the position changes, and in the first week of July, earth goes far from the sun. So this is called the aphelion position. When the earth is close to sun, it is known as perihelion position. And when the earth is far away from the sun, then it is called aphelion position. Do you understand? Perihelion and aphelion. Perihelion means close to sun, and aphelion means far from sun. Keep in mind. In this position, the northern end of the axis is towards the sun with the help of figure 8.1. So here, in this position, the earth end of the axis is towards the sun with the help of figure. You can see here 8.1 figure. It shows us that the two different situations. The 21st March, close to earth. 21st June, close to earth. Sorry, a little bit far away from the sun. That is perihelion and aphelion position. Here also we can come to know from this diagram. With the help of figure 8.1, which shows the position of the earth in relation to the sun, you can guess which season prevails in which hemisphere. Season occurs due to the revolution of the earth as well as due to tilt of its axis of rotation. Yes, from this diagram we can come to know 21st March, when the earth is close to sun, we feel hot. It means that it is spring equinox, means not so cold and not so hot. Here 21st June, summer solstice, it means that the sun's rays are falling on the elliptical part of the earth. Here again autumnal equinox on 23rd September. Here the darkest part, we are away, the elliptical part is away from the sun, so we will get a little bit amount of heat. Again winter solstice, here the day will be shorter and the nights will be longer, because of as the inclination of the part will receive less heat. Here one diagram they had given, from that we can come to know the perihelion and aphelion position. See here the difference they had given, 147 million kilometer is the distance between sun and earth during perihelion position, and between aphelion position the distance is between sun and earth is 152 million kilometer. Here southern hemisphere winter they had given and southern hemisphere summer they had given. Uttarayan north hemisphere summer, Dakshinyan northern hemisphere winter. As in the first content we had seen the Dakshinyan and Uttarayan, same concept they had given here. The elliptical orbit of the earth, they are shown. Do you know, due to gravitational forces of the sun and the earth, the speed of the earth gets reduced during the aphelion position and increases during the perihelion position, as the difference in the distance of the earth in both these positions is not very great. It does not have any effect on the sun. So as what gravitational forces of the sun and the earth, the speed of the earth gets reduced during the aphelion position and it increases during the perihelion position. Perihelion means what? When the earth is close to the sun, so speed increases, and when it is far away, that is in aphelion position, the speed reduces. Let's see the geographical explanation. As the earth revolves around the sun, the equator receives perpendicular rays on 2 days in a year. This condition occurs on 21st March and 23rd September. On these days, both the poles are at the same distance from the sun. This is called equinox. So as what? On 21st March and on 23rd September, it is known as equinox. Here, both the day and night will be same. 12 hours here and 12 hours here. See figure 8.3. This is equinox day, the equal night and equal day. The shaded part is of night and the lighted part it is of day, which is facing towards the sun. The illuminated and dark portion of all the parallels including the equator are shown in figure 8.3. In the figure, the circle of illumination divides all the parallels from the north pole to the south pole equally. Everywhere on earth, night time and daytime are of equal duration. Just I told you that, as according to the given figure we can come to know that during this 2 days, that is of 23rd September and 21st March, these 2 days the earth will have 12 hours of duration, 12 hours of night and 12 hours of day. On equinox, the sun's rays are perpendicular on the equator. In this condition, the circle of illumination coincides with the great circle defined by two opposite meridians. In the northern hemisphere, spring prevails from 21st March to 21st June, while autumn prevails from 23rd September to 22nd December. So as what? As according to the movement of the sun, the seasons keeps on changing. Like this only, from 21st March it is spring season, and again on 21st June it will be autumn, and 23rd December to 22nd December it will be the winter season. The southern hemisphere has the opposite seasons during these periods. In the northern hemisphere, 21st March is called spring or vernal equinox, whereas 23rd September is called autumnal equinox. The equinox or solstice dates can vary by a day or so. So as what? The days on 21st March and 23rd September, it is given different names. 21st March day, here the northern hemisphere is faced by the sun, so it is spring or vernal equinox is known. And when on 23rd September, it is known as autumnal equinox. Use your brain power. On equinox days, the two poles experience either sunrise or sunset. On which pole will it be sunrise on 21st March? So according to it, on 21st March, there will be sunrise on both the poles. Figure 8.4 shows the position of the earth with its tilted axis on 21st June and 22nd December. It also shows its illuminated and dark portions. Observe the figure and answer the following. Here they had given one diagram. According to it, diagram figure number 8.4, which is on page number 48. You can see from your textbook. And according to, by seeing this figure, you have to give the answers of the question. So while giving answers of the question, when I am reading the question, you have to observe the diagram, so you will get the answers easily. First question in figure A, which pole is receiving sunlight? So if you will see in figure A, the north pole is receiving sunlight. Here you can see the north pole, which is facing sun rays. In figure A, we are talking about figure A. The left side figure is of figure A and the left one is of figure B. The two diagrams are different. We are talking about figure A. In figure B, which pole is not receiving sunlight? Here, in figure B, we will see that the north pole is not receiving sunlight. In figure A, north pole is receiving sunlight on 21st June, and in figure B, north pole is not receiving sunlight during 22nd December. Which hemisphere has the longest daytime on 21st June? On 21st June, the northern hemisphere has the longest daytime. Which hemisphere will have the longest night on 22nd December? On 22nd December, the northern hemisphere will have the longest night time. On which date will the Tropic of Cancer receive perpendicular sun rays? So if you will see the diagram, you will come to understand that the Tropic of Cancer will receive perpendicular sun rays on 21st of June. Considering the position of the North Pole, which season will prevail in the northern hemisphere from 22nd March to 23rd September? So considering the position of 22nd March and 23rd September, the North Pole, it will be summer season in the northern hemisphere from 22nd March to 23rd September. In which period in the midnight sun observable in Norway? Which season will there be at that time? So here, if you will see, so if you can see, the midnight sun is observed in Norway in the period from 21st March to 23rd September. It is summer season in Norway at that time. I think we had left this question. The cricket matches in Australia are generally in summer. When does Australia have summers? So we will observe here, the Australia will have summer season from 23rd September to 21st of March. This can be the duration where the cricket matches of Australia are generally in summer season. Last one. At what time will the midnight sun be visible at the Bharti Research Station of India at Antarctica? What will be the season there at that time? So the midnight sun will be the midnight sun will be visible at the Bharti Research Station of India at Antarctica in the period from 23rd September to 21st March. It will be summer season there at that time. Let's see what we had discussed. Geographical explanation. When any one of the poles inclines the most towards the sun, 23 degree 30 minutes parallels of that hemisphere receives perpendicular sun rays. See figure 8.4. This figure. The sun rays are perpendicular at the equator on 22nd March and 23rd September, which are the days of equinox. 22nd March and 23rd September, just we have discussed, they are equinox, that is the day and night will be equal, so it is known as equinox. After 22nd March, other parallel between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere start receiving perpendicular rays sequentially. Only on 21st June and 22nd December, the sun rays become perpendicular on the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Respectively, these 2 days are called solstice days, as it is known as also known as the biggest day, 21st June and 22nd December. These are also known as biggest day of the year, because on the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, the sun rays are perpendicular at that 2 days. So the temperature is high on that day and is also known as the biggest day. Sun rays are never perpendicular on any sun rays are never perpendicular on any of the parallels between Tropic of Cancer and the North Pole, or between Tropic of Capricorn and the South Pole. 21st June is the longest day and it marks the shortest night in the northern hemisphere. So as what? On 21st June, it is also known as the longest day, just I told you, and the shortest night in the northern hemisphere. Similarly, 22nd December marks the longest day and the shortest night in the southern hemisphere. It is opposite. On 21st June, longest day, shortest night in the northern hemisphere. And here on 22nd December, longest day will be there, but shortest night will be there in the southern hemisphere. 22nd December is the shortest day in the northern hemisphere. Just I had given you information about this 21st June and 22nd December. Same explanation they had given here. In the region from the Arctic Circle to the North Pole, the sun remains visible for 24 hours or longer. At the North Pole, the sun is visible in the sky from 22nd March to 23rd September. As we are talking about the Arctic Circle. So here, the sun remains visible for 24 hours or longer, and the North Pole in the sun is visible in the sky from 22nd March to 23rd September. That is up for only 6 months. The sun will be visible in the Arctic Circle. Similar situation prevails in the region between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole in the period from 23rd September to 21st March. Same situation will be seen on the Antarctic Circle during the period of 23rd September to 21st March. That is only for 6 months. The sun will be visible for 24 hours. Next, note that on the equator, the duration on the day and night is sum throughout the year, that is 12 hours each. That is the duration of the day and night on the other equator place. At the equator, it is of 12 hours night and 12 hours day. Seasons have been decided on the basis of the duration of sunlight, equinox and solstice. The equatorial region does not experience any change of season. Hence, the climate in that region does not change at all in the year. In places beyond the equatorial region in either hemisphere, summer or winter are experienced one after the other. Within a year, the occurrence of season one after the other. In a year, leads to the cycle of seasons. As we know, as summer season goes, the rainy season comes, and after the rainy seasons, winter season is seen. These are the three major seasons which are seen in our country. Generally, there are two seasons, summer and winter, on the earth. However, in some places, seasons are taken in to be four in all. The change in the atmosphere vapor in the air, the wind and the precipitation also influence in the season. So as the season changes, the atmosphere changes, the vapor in the air changes, the wind also changes. Means the total combination of the environment changes as according to change in the season. And how the seasons changes? Season changes according to the change in the movement of the earth. Continuous occurrence of rain in a specific period gives rise to an additional season besides summer and winter. Due to the local conditions, seasons other than summer and winter are seen to occur in different parts. For example, rains occur in India in a specific period. Therefore, we consider four seasons such as summer, the rainy season, the period of retreating monsoon, and winter as summer season, rainy season, autumn season, and other winter season. There are four seasons in Europe and North America too. They are summer, autumn, winter, and spring. Also, as we have this type of seasons, summer, autumn, winter, and spring seasons. Like this only in Europe and North America we can see. Everyone, if you will go, the seasons will be different. The cycles will be different. The cycle of season and the living world. If the Earth's axis were not tilted, the same climatic condition would have prevailed throughout the year. So, yes, this is the main point. If the Earth axis is not tilted, so as what? The seasons will not take place, constant temperature or constant climatical condition will be seen. So, due to the tilted axis of the Earth, the seasons are taking places. The seasons would not have occurred when at the same type of climatic condition would have been prevailed on each of the different parallels. So as what? As each parallel will be seen, Tropic of Cancer, Equator, Tropic of Capricorn, Antarctic Circle, Arctic Circle, at every place the seasons will be different. It will keeps on changing and the diversity on the earth will be changed. It is the tilt of this axis that leads to occurrence of season change and diversity on the earth. The living world on the earth is affected by the cycle of season. For example, in the region between 66 degree 30 minutes and 90 degree in both the hemisphere, even the mild sunlight available for a part of the year gives rise to certain flora and fauna. So as what? At 66 degree 30 minutes and 90 degree in both the hemispheres, as sunlight is seen mild, but here as yearly it gives rise to the certain different types of flora and fauna which can be seen in that particularly regions. In the Antarctic region, at the southernmost part of the earth, birds like penguins, fish like seal, and animals like walrus are found. In the polar regions, as according to the season and according to the climatical situation of that particular region, different types of animals are seen in that region as according to the climatical situation which is suitable for them. In the polar regions of the northern hemisphere, animals like reindeer, polar bears, Arctic fox, etc. are found. People living in this region to have adapted to the natural conditions prevailing in that region. Our adaptation to climatic condition is possible only up to a certain limit. That is why organisms prefer a certain habitat. As we human beings, we need a particularly climatical situation. In that situation only we can stay. Like that only few animals, they are able to stay in that type of climatical situation and they are able to grow in that type of climatical movement. Our adaptation to climatic condition is possible only up to certain limit. That is why organisms prefer a certain habitat. During extreme cold climatic conditions, when the food supply becomes scarce, a number of birds and animals migrate temporarily. So if the temperature, if the climatical situation is not good for them, so they move from one place, from one country to another country. Some different birds also we can see, they migrate to our country, and some animals or birds, they migrate to other countries also. as their climatical condition is not suitable for them. So for the food supply, they move from one place to another places. Trees bear fruit in a particular season. Therefore, agriculture seasons also depend on to the local climatic conditions. In polar areas, snow line shifts north or south according to seasons. This affects migrations of birds and animals. So as the north or the south shifts snow lines, and it gives a effect on the migration of the birds and animals. It gives a bad effect on the to move the animals from one place to another places, because due to snowfall they are unable to have food. So in search of food they have to migrate from one place to another places. Use your brain power. While India and England are located in the same hemisphere, why are the cricket matches in these two countries arranged in different months? So here England and India lie in the same hemisphere, that is in northern hemisphere. It is winter season in the northern hemisphere from 23rd September to 21st March, and in England is closer to the North Pole as compared to India, due to which the climate in these two particular countries is different. The winter in England is cooler as compared to India. Also, the daytime in England is lesser than that in India during the season. Hence, in the winter season, cricket matches can be held in India but not in England due to cold climate and the lesser daytime. On the other hand, in the period of 21st March to 23rd September, it is summer in northern hemisphere. The Tropic of Cancer passes through India. Now, as the sun rays are perpendicular on the Tropic of Cancer on 21st June, the heat in India is more. This climate is not suitable for conducting cricket matches. So in England, the summer is not extreme and hence the climate is suitable for conducting cricket matches in England. This is the main reason behind it. On 21st March and 23rd September, daytime and nighttime are same all over the earth. But why do some parts experience summer and some parts winter on these days? So on 21st March and 23rd September are equinox days. It means that 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. It is winter in the northern hemisphere on 22nd December in winter solstice. Hence, as the earth moves along its orbit from 22nd December towards the equinox position, it is winter in this hemisphere. So at that time, summer on 22nd December in the southern hemisphere, and hence at the earth moves along its orbit from 22nd December towards the equinox position. It is summer in this hemisphere. Mention any two countries in the world where one needs woolen clothing in the month of May. Also mention their latitudinal position. Okay, countries like Australia, New Zealand in the southern hemisphere will experience winter around the month of May, and hence people over there will be need woolen clothes. Australia stretches approximately between the latitude of 10 degree 41 minutes south and 43 degree 38 minutes south, while New Zealand lies approximately between the latitudes of 34 degree somewhat 24 minutes south and 47 degree 18 minutes south. Do you know? When the winter at the North Pole becomes severe, these birds travel southwards. When it is summer in the northern hemisphere, it flies back towards the North Pole. It has to travel in search of food. In the course of 1 year, it travels around 70,000 kilometers. It might be the only species in the world that experiences summer twice in a year. Siberian crane. This crane, it travels is the Arctic tern and the Siberian crane. These two birds, they travel from one country to another country in search of food. As approximately 70,000 kilometers they travel in a year. Here the information is given. Due to severe winter and lack of food, cranes from the cold northern region visit India, traveling around 8 to 10,000 kilometers. Once summer starts in India, they migrate back to the north. So as in India, when summer season starts, they go to their country. So in this way we had completed our chapter. Read this chapter along with the given diagrams and try to understand it. Complete the given exercise. That's all for today. Thank you.